Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a genuinely fascinating agricultural transformation. We're going to break down exactly how a plant that most people just see as a common, everyday aromatic grass is actually turned into a highly profitable premium product.
Seriously, ask yourself this. What if just 1 acre of grass could become a recurring source of liquid wealth? We really need to shift our paradigm right off the bat here. Traditional commodity farming usually limits us to thinking about fruits, grains, or standard vegetables. But what happens when we look at agriculture not just as growing food, but as cultivating high-value ingredients?
Well, that brings us to our core subject today, liquid gold. See, we aren't just looking at field grass here. We are looking at a highly sought-after industrial raw material. Smart growers look at this and see the true liquid value hidden inside every single leaf.
Okay, so here's our agenda for today. First, we'll cover the hidden liquid gold. Then we'll look at soil, slips, and genetics. After that, growing yield and quality, followed by harvest and steam distillation. And finally, we'll wrap up with the strategic business model. Let's jump right into Section 1, the hidden liquid gold. So it really all comes down to citral. It's this incredibly valuable natural compound found inside lemongrass oil, and it's the exact reason this crop's industrial worth is just so high. Because of citral, lemongrass isn't just an ingredient for a bowl of soup, right? It's heavily demanded by the fragrance industries, soap manufacturers, cosmetic companies, and the flavor industry. When global demand for natural ingredients goes up, lemongrass acts as an absolutely essential industrial raw material. Now, traditional farming often relies on that exhausting plant once, harvest once model. But lemongrass, it completely changes the game. As a hardy perennial grass, you plant it once and you cut it repeatedly. When it's managed properly, this plant provides multiple harvests over several years. It's basically creating a powerful recurring revenue model for you.
Moving right along to Section 2, soil, slips, and genetics. So the very first strategic choice you have to make is propagation. Relying on seeds can actually lead to slower, uneven growth. For high-yielding genetics, serious growers almost always use slips or divisions, taken from verified, healthy clumps. Doing this guarantees you're getting the exact right genetics, which results in faster establishment and beautifully uniform fields. Environmentally, lemongrass absolutely loves warm climates and full sunlight. Before planting, the land needs to be loosened up and enriched with organic matter to build a really healthy root zone. But here's the kicker, and this is absolutely crucial. The soil must be well drained. Stagnant water is literally the ultimate enemy here. If those roots sit in waterlogged conditions, they rot, and your yields are going to plummet. So if you're dealing with heavy soil, building raised beds is pretty much essential.
That takes us to Section 3, growing yield and quality. Let's track the growth journey. At 1 month, the field is going to look pretty sparse, making the young plants really vulnerable to aggressive weeds. Early weed management is absolutely critical at this stage. But by month 3, something magic happens. The plants tiller, meaning they produce multiple shoots to form dense clumps that actually suppress those weeds naturally. From there, you are well on your way to mature, harvest-ready biomass. Now, during this phase, hydration is a bit of a delicate balancing act. While young slips need consistent moisture to establish their roots, mature plants are pretty tough. Constant saturation actually dilutes the plant's vigor and lowers the oil quality. A moderate crop with highly potent oil is just so much more profitable than giant waterlogged leaves with poor oil concentration. Your yield and quality absolutely have to grow together.
All right, Section 4, harvest and steam distillation.
When it's finally time to harvest, there are a few best practices. First off, always cut above the crown so your future harvests don't suffer. Second, base your timing on the plant's vigor and aroma intensity, not just what the calendar says. And finally, and I really can't stress this enough, once it's cut, you must move quickly to distillation. Leaving harvested piles sitting out in the hot sun is like watching your money literally evaporate. The fresh aroma fades, fermentation sets in, and the crop's value is completely destroyed. Fresh handling is everything. Okay, so how does steam distillation actually work? Well, fresh chopped biomass is tightly packed into a still. Pressurized steam is forced through it, which makes the leaves release all those valuable volatile oils. That vapor then travels through a cooling system, condensing back into a liquid, and because oil and water naturally separate, the pure lemongrass oil just floats right to the top. Remember, the farm grows the biomass, but distillation is what unlocks the value. And finally, Section 5, the strategic business model. We need to look at the 4 pillars of profit here: biomass yield, oil recovery percentage, quality, and market price. Listen, if any single one of these pillars collapses, your profit margins shrink immediately. They literally all have to be managed simultaneously to make this model work.
The most important thing you can ask yourself is this: how much quality oil can I sell? Asking this forces a massive mindset shift. It completely separates the typical commodity mindset, just chasing giant leaves, from a highly strategic focus on premium extraction, proper storage, and hitting exact market demands. Furthermore, a truly resilient farm always diversifies. Sure, the premium essential oil is the primary driver, obviously. But from that exact same enterprise, you can sell fresh leaves to specialty tea markets, dried leaves for herbal formulations, or even verified high-quality planting slips to new farmers. Building out these multiple income streams gives you a ton of resilience against market fluctuations.
So I'll leave you with this final thought. Will you continue selling raw produce, or will you step up and start manufacturing a premium ingredient? Even a smaller acreage can compete incredibly well when you focus on intelligent, value-added farming. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep thinking strategically, and I'll catch you in the next one.